Good afternoon and welcome to the University of Nebraska Lincoln's December 2025 graduate ceremony. I'm Rodney Bennett, Chancellor of the University. Thank you for joining us today in Pinnacle Bank Arena and live on our website around the world for this special moment in the lives of our graduates. Please rise if you're able to do so as Morgan Gold, a Master of Music student in our Glencore School of Music, leads us in singing our national anthem. Thank you. You may be seated. This afternoon, we are here to celebrate the remarkable achievements, perseverance, and dedication that has brought our graduating class of 2025 to this significant milestone in their lives. As graduate and professional students, you have made your mark on our university community and extended the legacy of alumni who have earned their degrees from here. Today, we celebrate the completion of your respective master's, doctoral, or Juris Doctor degree, and we celebrate your place as a graduate of one of our country's most important universities, the University of Nebraska, Lincoln. You now carry with you more than 150 years of tradition and excellence as part of our university's heritage, and we are so proud of you. At this time, please direct your attention to the Husker Vision screen for congratulations from Jess Brophy, President of our Staff Senate, then Jim Corr, President of the Graduate Student Assembly, and John Schrader, President of Faculty Senate.
Hi there, Husker graduates, and welcome to the Husker alumni family. As a proud UNL alum, it's an honor to share this moment with you. I still remember the feeling of walking across that stage, excited, unsure, and so proud to be a Husker. Here in Nebraska, we say every interaction matters, and along your journey, our incredible staff, from academic advisors and IT specialists to dining teams and groundkeepers, have been a part of your story. You've leaned on us in big ways and small ones, and we've been cheering you on every step of the way. As you begin your next chapter, know this: You're now part of a lifelong Husker network that's proud of you and rooting for you. So on behalf of more than 4,000 dedicated staff, congratulations, you've made it. Go Big Red.
Today we celebrate you, our brilliant, resilient, and unstoppable graduate students who have crossed the finish line after years of hard work, late nights, breakthroughs, setbacks, and incredible personal growth. This moment wasn't handed to you. You earned it. Through grit, courage, and discipline, you navigated research challenges, taught classes, presented at conferences, balanced family life, and somehow still found time to build friendships and serve your communities. You are walking away today not just with a degree, but with a story of perseverance that proves you are ready for whatever lies ahead. Whether you're stepping into academia, industry, entrepreneurship, public service, or something entirely new, know that you carry with you a legacy, the legacy of excellence, resilience, and leadership that defines UNL graduate students. And remember this, you are a Husker for life. No matter where you go, the Husker spirit rooted in tenacity, heart, and community goes with you. To our amazing faculty and staff, thank you for your mentorship, your encouragement, and your unwavering support. To university leadership, thank you for creating an environment where graduate students could thrive, take risks, and chase bold ideas. To the graduating class, take pride in what you've accomplished. Dream bigger than ever before. Go out there, make waves, build bridges, change the world. And through it all, don't forget where it all started. Once a Husker, always a Husker. Congratulations, graduates. Go Big Red.
On behalf of the faculty of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I congratulate you on getting to this point in your life. All the hard work you put in, the dedication you've shown, the mentoring you've sought, the early mornings and the late nights, the seemingly endless tests, projects, and workshops, it's why you're here now. This is, of course, the end of this part of your life and the beginning of the rest of it. You take with you a very special distinction, your degree from a Big Ten institution. This is the starting point for the next chapter, whether you're entering the workforce, furthering your education, traveling the world, or exploring other paths. All of us, your professors, advisors, mentors, extension educators, fellow students, join your family in saying, we are so proud of you. We know now you'll go into the world and make a difference. We, of course, want you to do well, but be fruitful and productive and be true to yourself and your associates. You are now a member of an elite club, a graduate of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Thank you all for those congratulatory remarks. We are honored when members of the University of Nebraska system are able to join us in congratulating our students on Commencement Day. It is with great pleasure that I introduce and welcome the following system leaders. I'd ask each of them to stand once their names have been read. First is System President, Dr. Jeffrey P. Gold, and System Interim Executive Vice President and Provost, Dr. David Jackson. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Thank you. You may be seated. On the stage and on the arena floor are members of the university's senior leadership team who are listed in your program. These individuals work hard, often behind the scenes, to ensure that all facets of the university operations run smoothly for our students, our faculty, and our staff. I'd ask this group to please stand if you're able to do so that you might be recognized. Thank you so much. You may be seated. I'd like to take a moment to recognize a member of the university's leadership team who is participating in his last commencement ceremony. I'd ask Mr. Josh Davis to please stand. Josh currently serves as Vice Chancellor and Chief of Staff for the Chancellor. Josh has served in multiple leadership roles here at the university over the last 14 years, spanning our Institute of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Global Affairs, and of course, the Office of the Chancellor. He has recently been named Senior Vice Provost and Chief of Staff at Penn State, where he will begin his work in January. Josh, we all thank you for your service to the university and to our students. We will most certainly miss you, and we wish you well as you start your new chapter. Thank you for your service. We are deeply grateful to our university faculty and staff for their hard work in helping our students reach their educational goals. I would ask all faculty and staff throughout the arena to please stand if you're able, so that our graduating class might express their deep appreciation for the contributions you make to their education. Faculty and staff, please stand. Thank you all so very much. We're almost to the conferral of the degrees. Stay with me. I now invite to the podium University President Jeffrey P. Gold. As he makes his way, let me tell you just a little bit about him. President Gold has held several positions in the University of Nebraska system since 2014, including Chancellor of the University of Nebraska Medical Center, Chancellor of the University of Nebraska at Omaha, Executive Vice President and Provost, and now President of the University of Nebraska System. Please help me welcome to the podium our President, President Jeffrey Gold. Thank you, sir.
Well, good afternoon, and on behalf of the University of Nebraska System, on behalf of our Board of Regents, I extend an incredibly warm welcome to all of you. My message to you this afternoon is quite simple. I originally was told I had 35 minutes to speak. They then told me it was 3 to 5 minutes, so I had to appreciably shorten my comments, but I will comply, Chancellor Bennett. Ladies and gentlemen, to the family and friends, to the loved ones of our graduates, I extend to you our most profound thanks. Congratulations for a job well done. Mentoring, parenting, loving a student is not easy work, having raised two, and that is particularly more difficult on the graduate and professional level. So, commendation and great gratitude. To our faculty and staff, I wish to extend our most profound thanks for what you do. You are truly the core, the foundation, the fabric of this incredible university system. Without your dedication, your hard work, your tenacity, your outreach to every one of our students, undergraduate and graduate, we would be a fraction of what we are today. And most importantly now, to our graduates, to each of you who will walk out of here with your diploma this afternoon, on to the next stage of your life, whatever that may be. I extend to you our most profound congratulations, deepest thanks for choosing the University of Nebraska to steward you in this journey and to bestow upon you a degree, and also to tell you that that degree has never been more valuable. While the newspapers and evening news are full of stories about the headwinds of higher education, all sorts of political innuendo and more, discussions about budget and finances, all of which are relevant, heartfelt, and all of which have an impact. But I will tell you that having a college degree, and particularly having a graduate degree from a premier R1 land-grant Big Ten university has never been more valuable. Of course, it is valuable to you in terms of future earnings. There's no doubt about that. There are millions and millions of dollars that will accrue to you based upon the value of your degree. You might want to think about eBaying it at some time. I leave that to you. But in terms of the quality of your life, in terms of your life expectancy, in terms of the quality and life expectancy of your families, in terms of the opportunity to have a fulfilled and fulfilling life and to impact the communities that you will serve and lead during your careers, this training, this experience, this mentorship by our faculty, the input of our staff, has never, ever been more valuable, and do not ever let anybody tell you differently. At some point, you will hang that diploma on a wall, and I encourage you to do that and not put it in a desk drawer or on a shelf where it will collect dust. Because I want you to look at it as frequently as you can. Remember the experiences that brought you to this day, a truly life-defining moment, and remember that that piece of paper empowers you to change the world. I will leave you with this quote, one of my favorite quotes. It actually comes from President Abraham Lincoln, who used to say frequently in the post-Civil War era, when asked about the future of our great nation, he would say that it is impossible to predict the future. The only way to do that is to build it. I commend you to build the future. Go Big Red. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Gold. We will now begin awarding earned degrees. I invite Dr. Deborah Hope, Associate Vice Chancellor and Dean of Graduate Education, to present the candidates for doctoral degrees. The names of the candidates this afternoon will be read by Jana McGuire and Jeff Sheldon as each student crosses the stage. Dr. Hope?
Chancellor Bennett, I have the honor to present to you students from the Graduate College who have fulfilled all the requirements for the degrees Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, or Doctor of Plant Health. These students will be accompanied to the stage by their faculty mentors and will receive their doctoral hood and diploma. Will the doctoral candidates please rise?
By the authority of the state of Nebraska, which is vested in the Board of Regents, and upon recommendation from the graduate faculty, I confer upon each of you your respective degrees pertaining to your studies: Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, Doctor of Plant Health, according to the particular requirements completed, with all of the associated privileges, responsibilities, and honors thereto appertaining. Please be seated until the marshals direct you across the stage to receive your diploma.
Carol Shampel-D Singh, presented by Professor Jordan Solis.
Majid Al-Atawi, presented by Professor Adrian Wisnicki.
Fakadu Reiti Alameuhu, presented by Professor Heather Aiken.
Kelly Britton, presented by Professor Heather Aiken.
Rebecca Anderson, presented by Professor Wayne Babchuk.
Pratiksha Baisha, presented by Professor Christopher Gustafson.
Megan Baldessera, presented by Professor Daniel Uden and Professor Andrew Little.
Catherine Bard, presented by Professor Elvira Abrica.
Sophia Becker, presented by Professor Trenton Franz.
Alicia Bevins, presented by Professor Brittany Duncan.
Telewalache Brawa, presented by Professor Heidi Dyfus Dux.
Caitlin Campbell, presented by Professor John Carroll.
Sean Shaw, presented by Professor Rizal Mahmood.
Xin Chen, presented by Professor Bai Sui.
Nok Lan Trin, presented by Professor Bai Tsui.
Yilong Shang, presented by Professor Shi Hua Xiang.
Derek Cox, presented by Professor Deepika Menon.
Upuli Vishaka de Silva Jayasekara, presented by Professor Liang Chong Du.
Sabina Dakal, presented by Professor Martha Morton.
Isaac Che, presented by Professor Martin Morton.
Andrew Dineski, presented by Professor Santosh Pitla.
Ankita Kalra, presented by Professor Santosh Pitla and Professor Joe Luck.
Nawalraj Dulal, presented by Professor Richard Wilson.
Cassandra Durazo Martinez, presented by Professor Hip Vu.
Rola El Nimri, presented by Professor Daniel Linzel.
Amy Frazier, presented by Professor Robert Woody.
Michael Grantham, presented by Professor Bertrand Clark.
Gayara Fernando Muthanama Ganaj, presented by Professor Bertrand Clark.
Daisy Gisa Beltran, presented by Professor Limei Zhang.
Ashan Chamaf Gunawadena, presented by Professor Hamid Sharif.
Awana Marzia Mushi, presented by Professor Hamid Sharif.
Alyssa Hall, presented by Professor Darren Redfern.
Heidi Calderon Ambelize Han, presented by Professor Evan Curtis.
Nordia Helda, presented by Professor Aishe Kilich.
Mitra Nasimi, presented by Professor Richard Wood.
Tamana Sharmeen Kabir, presented by Professor Guy Trainin.
Benjamin Lytle, presented by Professor Guy Trainin.
Mark Cathell, presented by Professor Rajib Saha.
Ethan Krings, presented by Professor Eric Markvicka.
Jesse Keebler, presented by Professor Lucia Fernandez Ballester.
Kipin Kumar, presented by Professor Amit Jala.
Nathaniel Largo, presented by Professor Amanda Henson and Professor Johanna Bashford Largo.
Sun Young Lee, presented by Professor James Bovaird.
Armando Lerma, presented by Professor Jennifer Octung.
Jasmine Lay, presented by Professor Joseph Turner.
Kurt Mantanaya, presented by Professor Carolyn Heitman.
Kara Morganson, presented by Professor Edmund Hamann.
Daoud Nosham, presented by Professor Josephine Lau.
Orgirna Tega, Obekwere, presented by Professor Sudiptu Dishari.
Hanifi Utgun, presented by Professor Kate Brooks.
Grant Phillips, presented by Professor Justin Bradley.
Merdad Porsadek, presented by Professor David Ewell.
Syed Ali Roholkados, presented by Professor David Ewell.
Eleanor Quint, presented by Professor Stephen Scott.
Moira Rodriguez, presented by Professor Alan Christensen.
Tyrell Rossman, presented by Professor Donald Becker.
Ibohoko no Hoawa Salami, presented by Professor Logan Perry.
Brianne Sandy Russell, presented by Professor David Hansen.
Pirlan Caesar Okur, presented by Professor Ozan Chifchi.
Ilhami Okur, presented by Professor Bing Wang.
Yuanyi Xia, presented by Professor Yiqi Yang.
Phoebe Shi, presented by Professor Amanda Raymer Tate.
Dipendra Shrestha, presented by Professor Zhang Hu.
Kyle Trednick, presented by Professor Christina Dando.
Natasha Ameza, presented by Professor Justin McMetchin.
Ezekiel Villamil, presented by Professor Nicholas Cafaro Lamenza.
Rachel Wagner, presented by Professor Carl Nelson.
Yaoling Wang, presented by Professor Carrie Clark.
Junzi Wong, presented by Professor Bradley Shadwick.
Shilchun Wu, presented by Professor Xia Hong.
Zaya Cheng Xiang, presented by Professor Yufeng Ga.
Xinyan Xie, presented by Professor Hongfeng Yu.
Yu Chen Yan, presented by Professor Yanbin Yin.
Saw Zhang, presented by Professor Wei Chiao.
Stephanie Novotny, presented by Professor Shavana Holman.
Maria Eleanor Del Rosario, presented by Professor Taeyeon Kim.
Marnie Dreesen, presented by Professor Taeyeon Kim.
Corey Knight, presented by Professor Sarah Zuckerman.
Ying Chi Wang, presented by Professor Paul Barnes.
Chi Zhang, presented by Professor Paul Barnes.
Thomas Davis, presented by Professor Jeffrey Bradshaw and Professor Gary Hine.
That's yours.
Graduates for the Juris Doctorate degree in the College of Law will be presented by Dean Richard Moberly.
Will the graduates from the College of Law please rise? Chancellor, it is my honor to present these students who have fulfilled all the requirements for the degree Juris Doctor.
By the authority of the state of Nebraska, which is vested in the Board of Regents, and upon recommendation from the faculty, I confer upon you the degree Juris Doctor with all of the associated privileges, responsibilities, and honors thereto appertaining. Please come forward to receive your diploma.
Franklin Vicente Tavlon.
Claire Rainey.
Dallas Jones, Jr.
Will the candidates for master's degrees please rise? Chancellor Bennett, I have the honor to present to you students from the Graduate College who have fulfilled all the requirements for master's degrees.
By the authority of the state of Nebraska, which is vested in the Board of Regents, and upon recommendation from the faculty, I confer upon each of you a master's degree, according to your particular curriculum and course of study, with all of the associated privileges, responsibilities, and honors thereto appertaining. Please be seated until the marshals direct you to cross the stage to receive your diploma.
Jason Sawyer Hughes.
Rhea M. Gillen.
Elizabeth Ann Granlin.
Arthur Peterson.
Tess Pilcher.
Tyler Michael Quick.
Miranda Steinkruger.
Logan Zachary Beecher.
Kananile Olivia Marie Franca Bigba.
Elizabeth Billington.
Isaac Bauman.
Avery Clayson.
Emma Hansen.
Nathan Wenchang Hare.
Gok Hyong Tao.
Mason J. Lee.
Heidi Quintanilla de Nuno.
Karen Elizabeth Rhodes.
Aaliyah Samchi.
Sandra Semyon Baltimore.
Jonna Cisneros.
Delaney Tinnerstedt.
Allison Van Haren.
Kimberly Wilson.
Joshua Zoha.
Whitney Zuha.
Grace Elizabeth Aubert.
Justin Bultour.
Zachary Denny.
Manoj Gawande.
Joseph Gausi.
Tyler Heisler.
Rajesh Khanna Krishnan.
Kelly K. Peterson Becker.
Holland Stegemeyer.
Erin Marie Steele.
Julia Waller.
Ison Smaley.
Rao Nargis.
Pranjay Joshi.
Rabah Khan.
Sierra Nelson Forcade.
Muhammad Asad Uzaman Noor.
Michael Inti Arbabio.
Adnan Afatlawi.
Iman Alcanfes.
Timothy Amen.
Maggie Philippi.
Kyla Footman.
Katie Nicole Jeter.
Rachel Quas.
Catherine Sog.
Erica Allschwede.
Nicholas Clifford.
Tyler Ford.
Matthew Graham.
Nosakari Idahe.
Farhad Latifi.
Sean O'Neill.
Catherine Stager.
William Zillig.
Cao Dan Nguyen.
Samuel Bush.
Marcel Lisa Dongmo Takozin.
Theodore Kittle.
Lucy Elizabeth Loy.
Hiyu Liu.
Jake Thomas Newman.
Khan Nguyen.
Abraham Ikuko.
Madeline Allen.
Mujahid Ali Bahadur.
Faiz bin Hassan.
Meredith Brandt.
Carol Stephanie Calderon Ambaliz.
Ellie Chitwood.
Eve Schote.
Audra Clark.
Mackenzie Coffey.
Janet Al Foysal.
Kayla Free.
Jacob V. Galvin.
Samantha Harvett.
Jade Horn.
Syed Mohammed Hosseini.
Tara Lee Marie Hudson.
Tara Hull.
Mohammed Jalili Torkamani.
Christine Jarris.
Pedro Fernandez.
Chatumi Samarahira.
Dylan M. Kent.
Olivia Kilainai.
Laura Leisure.
Jinpeng Lim.
Paige Madison.
Sarah Catherine McGee.
Alexander Jacob Marley.
Seth McRoberts.
Benjamin Mall.
Taylor Nielsen.
Rachel Osborne.
Joshua Ostblum.
Ashutosh Pant.
Magdalene Peklo.
Haley Marie Plambeck.
Jessica Powell.
Manusa Raghuvaraju.
Nathan Reinecke.
Elisha Reiners.
Beloja Danielle Roberson.
Malcolm Vaughn Saltzman.
Simon Schoenbeck.
Manoj Sharma.
Victoria Justine Split.
Ranish Srivastav.
Colin Steimer.
William Nikita Stratos.
Mafuzi Sabani.
Zuchen Sun.
Nicole Swenson.
Harsh Tamkia.
Prajol Thapa.
Stephen Michael Tomazer.
Ko Tran.
Nathan Wanta.
Rachel Weber.
Reese White.
Terrell Wilson.
Amy Yanagida.
Malad Zare.
Again, please join me in congratulating our students who have earned a master's, doctoral, or Juris Doctor degree one more time. As we near the end of the ceremony, I'd like to thank those who helped make this a very special day, to include the University of Nebraska faculty brass and percussion, our national anthem soloist, the staff who have worked to ensure that every student received their diploma today, Husker Vision, the Nebraska Alumni Association, the University Marshal Corps, who are faculty and staff volunteers led by our head marshal, Professor Robert Gorman, and the University Commencement and Recognition Committee, chaired by Dr. Vanessa Gorman, who took great care in planning this ceremony. Please join me in thanking these individuals and groups. Graduates, the pin that you received today from the Nebraska Alumni Association designates you as a graduate of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. We hope that you will wear it proudly for decades to come. You are now part of an alumni network which reaches all corners of the globe. Please direct your attention to the Husker Vision screen for a message from the Executive Director of the Nebraska Alumni Association, Shelley Zaborowski.
Congratulations, graduates. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Nebraska alumni family. Today you join a family of more than 200,000 Huskers living all around the world. I encourage you to stay connected with the university and your fellow alumni as you go forth. The path for your Nebraska experience was paved by those who came before you. It now becomes your privilege to pay it forward to the next generation of Huskers. As an alum, there are volunteer opportunities to mentor current students, chances to share your experiences and skills to lift up other graduates, and strengthen your alma mater for the classes of Nebraska students who will walk this campus in the years to come. Being an engaged alumnus is just the next chapter in your story here. Your days as a student are over, but you're part of the Husker family for life. Once again, congratulations, and go Big Red.
Thank you, Shelley. And now will the members of the class of 2025 please stand. Graduates, in just a moment, I'll ask you to move your tassel on your mortarboard from the right to the left. This symbolic gesture will identify you as a graduate of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. We are proud of you. We are proud of your accomplishments, and we thank you for making our university better. We hope that wherever you go, you are eager to proclaim that you are a graduate of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And we look forward to the great things that you will accomplish while applying your education to make the world a better place. And so now I ask you to move your tassel from the right to the left as we salute you as graduates of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Congratulations to each of you. At this time, I would ask that the platform party please rise. Family and friends, please remain seated until the recessional has been completed. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our December commencement exercises at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Okay, we're done.
Yes, there's a step.